talk about it. Most of this video will be from the fireworks. I had luckily, well, before we go and set up the fireworks, we usually draw straws to see who's going to have to shoot them off, and for once I actually got off, and so I didn't have to shoot the fireworks off this time, thankfully. Myself and another guy just kept people back. You have to keep them from a certain distance from the fireworks, from where they're being shot off, so that's all I did. And we only had to tell one group of people to move, so we got a good spot to watch the fireworks, and so I just took some video of the fireworks being shot off. And if you look closely at where they're being shot off, you can see the red flare, which is lighting a lot of them. If you look at that spot, at certain times you can see them running around, trying not to get blown up. But yeah, my town celebrated its centennial this past weekend, and it was actually a lot of fun. I was in the parade, and actually I was at the end of the parade. Myself and a couple of other people took the fire trucks into the parade, but we always go at the end of every parade. So we actually got to see the parade starting, and this is the flyover of the Harvards, which I'll talk about later. I just barely got that in time. They flew over about 4 or 5 times. And this is them after the parade when they landed. And just went and took a little video of them. But you saw at the beginning of that video those people in red on the horses. Those were Mounties, but they were dressed up in the original uniform of the Northwest Mounted Police, which is what they were known as I thought it was just Canadian pilots at first, but apparently it was from all over the Commonwealth. Would come to the airport, or the old airport near my town, and would get trained to be pilots. It was actually a very large airport. I might take you out to see it at some point. It's kind of a cool place. But that's the planes that they would first teach them how to fly, and then they would move on to whatever plane they were assigned to, whether it be flying bombers, Lancasters, Halifax bombers, or it was fighters, like Spitfires or Hurricanes. And they train them on those planes as well, but there aren't many of them flying anymore, so they also had a flyby during the parade of two Griffin helicopters, which are military helicopters, but I missed those. Really, the only time that I remembered to film was during the fireworks. For the rest of the parade, I was just a spectator. But the parade was 2 hours long. Well, almost 2 hours. It wrapped around the whole town. Because we were at the end of the parade. And by the time that we left to start, the start of the parade had already ended. It had already been over for about 20 minutes before we started the end of the parade. It was a very long parade, but it was very cool as well. They had about 30 RCMP officers dressed up in the old uniforms and on horseback. They had a marching band. There were 5 different marching bands throughout the parade, and over 100 floats, which is more than I was expecting. But some pretty hilarious floats as well. So just try and pay attention to when the sky is lit up. Just watch. I tried to film it, but I can't remember at what point. But it was when one of the cakes was being lit off, and it started to, it was in a bad position. It was like, it kept on hitting a tree and bouncing off. And it was hitting the guys that were setting them off, and they were running all over the place. It was hilarious to watch. If you pay attention to, it'll be the very last clip. It should be pretty soon, anytime now, but there's a firework that looks like a smiley face. It got shot upside down, but you get the point. There it is. And this picture here is, I didn't think that I would actually get a picture or video of the Harvards if I could use it in a video. And he gave me permission, so thank you. I appreciate that. But the Harvards are pretty big, clunky aircraft, but I guess they would have gotten the job done to train the pilots. Another great thing about this weekend is we didn't get a lot of calls. We only had two, and both of them it was perfectly fine. Nobody got hurt, which is great. There were so many police and peace officers in town that I haven't talked to them yet, but I'm sure that they stopped a lot of drunk drivers before they even hit the roads or deterred them. So that's great. I think that's probably the only reason why we didn't get any bad accidents. The only other call wasn't really a call, we had two people that were designated medical, and so they drove around the whole weekend, just went on little patrols, and a couple of times they had people come up to them with problems. A couple of people just got dehydrated and got heat exhaustion, and one woman fell down the stairs and needed to get stitches on her head, but that was about it. So that's a great weekend. There was more people in town for this thing than I've ever seen in this town. Normally we have a population of 2,000, but with the flood victims that are still in the evacuation center here, combined with whoever else was coming, there were about 8,000 people